The Clash of Titans is finally over and we have a victor. Congratulations to Paramount and David Ellison for coming out on top of winning over the deal for Warner Bros. Sorry, Netflix, better luck next time. Now, I've not made a video on the subject because honestly, I am a layman. I do not know the ins and outs of the studios well enough. I do not know the stock market well enough to be educated enough on this type of a topic. I'm coming from a layman, which is why I waited until the end of this negotiation. Now, why do I call this the end? Well, from what we're seeing here, Warner Bros. Gave Netflix 4 days to respond to David Ellison's latest deal, because from their perspective, David Ellison's deal at Paramount was far better than Netflix, and Netflix has not responded yet at this point, so it's looking like it is going to Paramount. With that said, is this something that should even be happening? Do I trust Paramount over Netflix, or would Netflix been actually someone better to have? Well, let's just talk about this for a moment, okay? The main thing about Warner Bros. Is that they have a lot of studio connections. They'll be going out there and bringing their movies into theaters, whereas Netflix is just tipping its toes into the theatrical. It's not really there. Yes, I know that they said that we're going to be putting more films into the theaters, but let's just be real here. Netflix bread and butter is made on streaming services. They were never going to be full on force for the theaters. That was never going to happen. Yes, they made a promise that they'll keep up the contracts for Warner Bros. Current movie lists. But what about when that expires in 5 years, once all the movies have been made? Well, we might go for a 2-week, maybe a 7-day window, not necessarily the full 90 to 180 day windows that we sometimes see with films. We don't really see the 180. We don't even see 90. It's a rarity if you see a 45-day window for theaters to have a film. But at least that's something, whereas Netflix, it might be in there for a couple weeks at most. Netflix doesn't really care much for the theaters, and selling this business to Netflix didn't make a whole lot of sense in that regard. Whereas Paramount, you make a good argument that Paramount would be the one to go with, because they actually do have put in with theaters. They actually do care about making physical production, so you can make the argument that that'd be the better one to go with. Now, with that said, TV show wise, maybe not so much. Like, let's just take a look at here. Okay, Paramount, yes, you have Landman, you have Yellowstone, you also have Starfleet Academy. Like, let's not forget about that trash fire that's currently going on over at Paramount that has just been being laughed at by everybody. Left, right, center, Star Trek fans, non-Star Trek fans, everyone recognizes that is garbage. So, from a TV show perspective, Paramount is not the one to go with. But that's where we're stuck right now. As far as the stock pricing goes, I'm going to leave that to the experts like Valiant, Renegade, and the other stockbroker YouTubers out there. Get your advice from them. I have no idea. I'm not a financial guy, so I'm not even going to put my foot in that water, okay? I can't even tell you who's the better one to go with there. But whoever did get in with Warner Bros. Before the buyout started, congratulations to you guys. You guys have made phenomenal killing on this deal. Congratulations to you. With that said, what do we think is going to happen with Warner Bros. Now? Do we think it's going to be split up? Do we think it's going to be torn apart? Or do you think it's going to remain as a whole? There's going to be some redundancy that's going to be cut away, but David Ellison over at Paramount has stated that he wants to increase the films. That he doesn't want to shrink Warner Bros. He wants to expand it. Expand it how? That's yet to be seen. Hopefully, by what he wanted to say, by with more films, so more movies. Okay, there we go. But is it just that, or is it going to be more TV shows? Like, are we going to get Night of the Seven Kingdoms Season 2? I really hope we did. The first season was phenomenal. I really want to see another season. Are we going to get shows like The Penguin? Be amazing. Is this going to be rolled into Paramount, or are we going to have Paramount and HBO Max and Discovery all running along each side each other? I'm curious to see how this all plays out. I mean, it's a little more easy to merge Paramount into HBO Max, because let's be honest here, Paramount, although it's done okay, is nowhere near as a tight of HBO Max and Netflix is. So rolling that into HBO Max, probably easier. What are we going to call it though? It's going to be Paramount, HBO, Discovery. I really hope not. That's going to be disgusting. I hope they just go back to HBO, the streaming service, and you just have a sub-tab on it for Discovery and a sub-tab for Paramount, and there you go. Now, what do you think is going to be the story for the games? Because remember, Paramount bought everything. Do you think we're actually going to get some good games? Hard to say. I don't really think that they're going to really be focusing too much on the gaming side, especially with how much money the games side has lost Warner Bros. Yes, they made a great killing on Legacy, but when they came out with, what was that game called? Suicide Squad, or whatever that game that came out recently that cost them $1 billion, it was atrocious and it just died right away. So gaming, we'll see if that survives it or not. Big thing that a lot of people have been talking about is by David Ellison getting control over CNN. Is that going to remain? Is that going to be shut down? Is that going to be turned into a conservative hive mind by a lot of the people on Twitter being worried about? I don't think that's going to be the case. It would be hilarious if it was, but that's not going to happen. I think it would go more towards the middle, and I think that's where they need to be. Now for Netflix did get a little bit dirt on them, okay? It showed that they weren't really willing to put up a fight for this historic industry for Warner Bros. So they get a little dirt on them for that one. They show that they're maybe not as confident in some of the programming. They couldn't quite answer some of the questions in Congress when they were questioned about, hey, why do you have DEI? Why do you have woke stuff? Why do you have gay programming going to kids? Because this is in children's TV show. When you make the argument like, well, parents can just select to have the kids just watching kid programming, but when that kid programming has it in, how are you going about removing that? And they never had a satisfactory answer. I think that's going to hurt them in the public opinion for that as well. Right now, though, I don't think it's going to hurt Netflix over the long run. As I said, I'm a layman. I know nothing. I do have Netflix. I do have HBO Max. I don't have Paramount. So we'll see how exactly this plays out in the future. I don't see any long-lasting consequences really coming from this for Netflix. Yes, they got beaten. Yes, they got bloodied up. But overall, they didn't get an antitrust suit against them. They were able to walk away. I'm not going to say with their head held high. Their tail is definitely between their legs, but it's a beating they're going to be able to easily recover from in a couple of years, I think. I don't think it's going to be something like this down out for Netflix. Oh no, they're just done. Nah, it's nothing like that. But I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are. How do you perceive this going on with Warner Bros., Netflix, and Paramount? Who do you think should have won? Do you think Netflix would have been the better person to go with? I know a lot of the wokies are upset because they don't get their DEI programming shoved into Warner Bros. Now as much as they would like to. Or do you think that this is going to be something that more of the right-wingers are going to be liking? What with David Ellison being a Trump support fan? Is this going to be something more on the conservative side? Or is it going to be more of a balanced program with some more great content coming our way? I can't wait to hear, guys, what you guys got to say. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a dislike if you did not. I can't wait to see you on the next one. Y'all take care now. Bye for now.